So, a very good morning once again, dear students of class 10. And today we are going to do the short story, My Greatest Olympic Prize, written by Jesse Owens, a famous American athlete. Jesse Owens, during the time of the Second World War, he was in the Olympic Games, which was being hosted by Germany, and Hitler. In those times, Hitler was the German ruler, and what exactly he had experienced during the course of this Olympic Games is what is brought out in this real life story written by Jesse Owens, the famous black American athlete. So let's try to understand the story and its background first, and let us also try to understand the two main characters involved in this story, Jesse Owens and Luz Long. So on your screen you can see the 5 rings of the Olympic Games, and you know the Olympic motto, faster, higher and stronger. So you often see it written with this Olympic logo during our annual athletic meet. Also, this is universally the logo of athletics and games and sports. So let us try to see first who Jesse Owens was. Here on your screen you can see the real photograph of Jesse Owens, the black American athlete, with his gold medals after winning the gold medals in the Olympic Games, which were held in Berlin in Germany in the year 1936. So let's try to see. Here you have, in the finals of long jump, Owens competed with German athlete Luz Long. Owens won and Long embraced him. Hitler must have gone crazy watching their embrace. Racist propaganda was completely beaten by this gesture. The two men were friends until Long died in the Second World War. Now, the Second World War started in 1940, 39-40, and went on for 4 to 5 years, as you know from your history. And these are the two great athletes on the left hand side of the screen. On the left hand side of the screen you can see the white athlete, the German athlete Luz Long, and on the right hand side you can see the American athlete Jesse Owens. The two of them, as you can make out from the way they are sitting and talking, or rather lying down and talking on the grass maybe, they are fast friends. So this was the friendship which developed during the course of the Olympic Games in Germany. Now let us try to analyze the story a little bit more and try to see what exactly we have in as far as the characters are concerned, the setting is concerned, and also the theme of the story is concerned. So, My Greatest Olympic Prize by Jesse Owens. The characters, there are basically 3 characters, of whom we meet only 2, and one is just mentioned. Jesse Owens, the chief protagonist of the story, or the main character or the hero of the story, and Luz Long, the German athlete, his friend, and then of course the dictator Hitler. The setting is 1936 Olympic Games, which was held in Berlin. Now, the themes of the story: empathy, sportsmanship, and racism. These two athletes, as you can see, by means of you can say these diagrammatic expressions, they have tried to describe how racism was cast aside and how empathy and sportsmanship reigned supreme between these two athletes. Now, the key points of the story: Hitler emphasizes on the mastery of the Aryan race. Now, Hitler believed that Germans are the original Aryans, and so they should be the masters, and the rest of the world, especially the blacks, they had no say or no stand at all in comparison to the whites. So Hitler's attitude was to declare the supremacy of the Aryans during the 1936 Olympic Games held in Berlin. Owens had practiced hard, had set the world record, and was confident about the game. Sees a German, Luz Long, hit the pits at 25 feet on practice leaps, kept under wraps by Hitler. So this athlete, Luz Long, he was a special hidden athlete of Hitler had not revealed him till the games began. So in the practice session, this guy, he was hitting 25 feet. Owens fouls twice. He is terribly frustrated. Now in America, when he was jumping, he was jumping the best. But when he came to Germany, and just before the actual event, when they were practicing, Owens was fouling again and again. Then this German athlete, Long, advises him to draw a line before taking a leap. Owens qualifies thanks to Long. The two have a conversation before the final race. Now, this is very important here to remember that they were competing against each other. So, whereas they should be rivals, Luz Long had the goodness to come forward as an athlete to advise another athlete, irrespective of the fact that he was his opponent. The two have conversation before the final race. Long performs well, Owen does better, wins the race. Long, a true friend, is by his side, congratulating him on his victory. So this is what we are now going to read. But before we read, we need to go through a little bit about Jesse Owens, his life, his career, and that will be a short introduction of our chief protagonist. So let us see what we have in our textbook. Please open your textbooks and please take out the first page of the story, where within a box something is said about Jesse Owens. So students, now on your screen you can see the page taken from your textbook, and here we see something about Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens was the son of a sharecropper and grandson of a slave, which means he came from a slavish background, and his forefathers were into farming. Achieved what no Olympian before him had accomplished. His stunning achievement of 4 gold medals at the 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin has made him the best remembered athlete in Olympic history. So 4 gold medals for a single athlete. It's a major achievement and it's not an easy task. The following is a true story of a friendship between the two great athletes that burgeoned during the 1936 Berlin Summer Olympics. Now Hitler, this is the background actually, Hitler had spread the myth that one ethnic group was superior to all others. The Aryan supremacy. That's what Hitler believed in. So one ethnic group was supreme and superior, and refused to acknowledge that a black man could ever be successful. This affected African American track and field athlete Jesse Owens so badly that he almost failed to qualify for the long jump finals. The situation seemed hopeless until his rival Luz Long, a German athlete, spoke to him encouragingly, giving Owens a tip that helped him qualify. So we already discussed the tip. He said draw a line before you jump, because he disqualified twice and he was frustrated because he was under pressure. He was under pressure of the fact that he was a black, and the Aryan supremacy was by far the best, and he therefore did not stand a chance to win in this competition. But it was the German athlete who was kept under wraps by Hitler who came forward and then advised him, encouraged him, and this was really amazing. The German athlete encouraged him and helped him to qualify. Long knew that if Owens succeeded, it might jeopardize means totally ruin or spoil his chances of winning the gold medal, since they were competing against each other. So this is what I was talking about, that when you are somebody's rival, you cannot expect your rival to come forward and give you good advice, because he too wants to win the competition. And that's exactly what was expected by Jesse Owens. But then Luz Long came forward. He proved himself different, even though he was competing with Jesse Owens. So nevertheless, Luz Long put winning a medal at risk and continued to urge Owens to try harder. Here there was one athlete trying to help another of the same metal and the same sports. So this is what happened. Luz Long, he decided to put his winning chances at risk, and he decided to help out Jesse Owens. It was this act of Luz Long's that led Owens to first qualify, then go on to win the medal and set a record. His stunning achievement of 4 gold medals at the 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin has made him the best remembered athlete in Olympic history. More importantly, it led to a lifelong friendship between the two men, which ended only when Long was killed in action in the Second World War. So all young men from Germany, it was compulsory for them to join the army and serve for the fatherland. The Germans, they referred to their country as fatherland, and Luz Long was no exception. Being a young man, he had to join the army, and eventually in the Second World War, he lost his life. So that was the end of the friendship between Jesse Owens and Luz Long, two completely different and dissimilar individuals in terms of race, nationality, and in terms of culture and background. But then they were one because of the fact that they were both athletes, and it was the goodness of Luz Long which actually mattered the most in this friendship which was established between a black and a white. So now we will take up the text of the story, and today we will be trying to do the first page of the text. So please turn over and go to the next page immediately after this, and let us begin with the text of this particular story. So here we begin with the text of the story. This is story number 9, My Greatest Olympic Prize by Jesse Owens. It was the summer of 1936. The Olympic Games were being held in Berlin. We know where Berlin is. Berlin is in Germany. So 1936, that was a long time ago, and Hitler was around. He was the dictator of Germany, and the Second World War had not yet begun when this Olympic Games was being held. Because Hitler childishly insisted that his performers were members of a master race, nationalistic feelings were at an all-time high. Meaning to say that in the country, and especially inside the Olympic arena, the nationalism, the German nationalism was really noticeable. It wasn't that the other nationals were not present there, but then at the same time the Germans tried to dominate the rest of the participants who came from different other countries. I wasn't too worried about all this. Who says this? Now see, this story is written in first person narrative because this comes directly from the mouth of Jesse Owens. No different or other author has written this. This has been written by Jesse Owens himself. So I wasn't too worried about all this. I had trained, sweated, and disciplined myself for 6 years. With the games in mind, he had been training. He was into rigorous training for 6 years because he wanted to win the gold medal in the Olympic Games. While I was going over on the boat, all I could think about was taking home 1 or 2 of these gold medals. So when he was traveling from the United States to Germany across the Atlantic Ocean, He was traveling by a ship or a big boat. He was thinking about whether or not it would be possible for him to win at least a couple of gold medals. Only then would his trip and his participation in the Olympic Games be successful. I had my eye especially on the running broad jump. So you have the broad jump in your school sports also as a part of the predetermined event. So here Jesse Owens is a broad jumper, and he particularly wanted to win a gold medal in the broad jump. A year before, as a sophomore at Ohio State University, I had set the world's record of 26 feet 8 1/4 inches. So that was a record set by him in Ohio State University just a year before he was on his way to the Olympic Games. Everyone kind of expected me to win that Olympic event hands down. So since I had jumped more than 26 feet, people nearly 27 feet, so expectations were high in his country, and also it was believed that he would simply just jump and win this event. I was in for a surprise when the time came for the broad jump trials. I was startled to see a tall boy hitting the pit at almost 26 feet on his practice leaps. Now initially I have mentioned 25, so he was almost reaching 26. That means exceeding 25, but not exactly 26. But if this is the leap during practice, then what would it be like in the finals? So this was quite a surprise for Jesse Owens. He understood that it would be a tough competition for him. He couldn't possibly simply just jump and win hands down as it was thought earlier. He turned out to be a German named Luz Long. So his name was, this jumper was from Germany, and his name was Luz Long. I was told that Hitler had kept him under wraps, meaning to say Hitler had given special orders to keep this athlete in particular hidden from the view of the media and publicity. He wanted to use this athlete as a surprise during the games to prove the Aryan supremacy, evidently hoping to win the jump with him. I guessed that if Long won, it would add some new support to the Nazis' Aryan superiority theory. So this Aryan superiority theory of the Nazis, that was the party to which Hitler belonged and was the leader of the party. So they made a lot of propaganda about the Aryan superiority, and if Luz Long could win the jump event, win the gold in that, then obviously their superiority theory would be proved correct. After all, I am a Negro. Jesse Owens points out that he's a black. A little hot under the collar about Hitler's ways. To be hot under the collar means to be in some kind of shame, to be humiliated, to feel humiliated. So that's what he felt, especially because how Hitler treated the blacks. I determined to go out there and really show the Führer. The Führer is German for the leader or the head. So I wanted to show to Hitler what he means to say is that he wanted to go out there and he wanted to show the dictator and his master race who was superior and who wasn't. An angry athlete is an athlete who will make mistakes, as any coach will tell you. Now, because he was angry, because of the humiliation he felt angry, so I was no exception. On the first of my 3 qualifying jumps, I leaped from several inches beyond the takeoff board for a foul. On the second jump, I fouled even worse. Did I come 3,000 miles for this? He was asking himself. I thought bitterly. Did I come all the way from the United States of America to to Germany to participate in the Olympic Games, to foul and then to be left out of the finals? He was thinking bitterly. So, to foul out of the trials and make a fool of myself? So, this is what he started thinking when he fouled. So, we'll stop here for the day. Page 104. We have 2 more pages to go. So, in our next video, we'll be completing with the remaining pages. So, I hope you have understood this much which I have explained just now, and I hope you have also understood the theme and the background of this story, which is not really a story but a real life happening which happened in the life of famous black American athlete Jesse Owens. So that's it. Thank you very much.